All righty. Well, I guess we are live now. All right, guys, welcome back to In the Blind with Daddy Duck, where we talk about anything and everything that relates to duck hunting. Usually try to let the comments start ruling the roost and let them kind of see where we go, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, before we get all that started, let's just want to thank Salt Creek Custom Ammunition, True Lock Choke Tubes, and Biscuit Built 3D for helping me and sponsoring this live stream. So I see there's a couple people in the house. Go ahead and give me a shout out, who you are, where you're from, that kind of thing. If you've been here before, just kind of all you gotta do is say hey. We're kind of laid back here, just like to know where everybody's from and what's going on. Well, tonight, the duck season, well, the duck season's over with. Waterfowl season is still in with the conservation hunts and whatnot, but we'll see what happens. I don't think I'm going to be doing any conservation snow goose hunting this year unless I get an invite out of the blue. But I just not really. I'm not really that much of a goose hunter. I mean, I wouldn't mind going on a conservation hunt. It's been I guess, one of my dreams. I have shot snow geese before, but you know, I like my ducks. But for the most part, it's all over with. So I'd like to hear what y'all are doing now that the duck season's over with. What are y'all getting ready to do? What have you been doing? Um, that kind of thing. Are you getting geared up for something else? Have you cleaned your gear? Have you put your stuff away? Just let's just chat and see where this is gonna go. Like I said, I got one person in here. Just type in the comments who you are, so I know. So I know. But last Saturday was the last day of the federal youth and veterans hunt here in South Carolina. I did not go, although I'm a veteran. They had two hunts, and I did not go on either one of them. Just got too much going on around the house I need to take care of. I've heard some kids were out shooting. They were getting on them in some places, and some places they weren't. My next door neighbor, or across the street neighbor rather, he went Saturday, shot his first duck, which was a wood duck drake. And then I caught him outside yesterday. I was out there after I work on Sundays, guys. So I was right after work. Was outside. I was grilling up some steaks, and I heard a call. It was a wood duck call, and anyway, he ended up coming over for a few minutes, and we sat there and showed him a few things on the wood duck call, and hoping as a off season he'll practice, and I'll help him along and maybe get him a duck call, a regular mallard call, and let him kind of mess with that for a little while. Phil, what's going on? Getting ready to rent an excavator to dig trenches for a water line. After that, I got to get a load of rock and level that and get my cabin out at my farm. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Yeah, I think I mean I got more stuff to do around the house than I care to think of. I got a huge honeydew list. I'm gonna start getting on. Um, got to get some stuff cleaned up first. Um, I can't even get into my shed right now. That's how tore up it is. I got decoys all over the place that need to get put up. I got tools everywhere that need to get put up. Well, I need to spend a good day in there cleaning that up. I got to get the blind off the boat, but my plans are my wife wants the bathrooms painted, so I want to get those painted. Are you putting a hurting on the ducks this year? I wouldn't say we put a hurting on them. We killed a few. Um, Of course, it's all over now, but it's we killed a few. Whoa, we got hunting and stuff 9489, and then we got hunting and stuff with J and J. John, how you doing? Um, take a beating in paint. Charles, how you doing? Yeah, I'm not a painter, dude. I don't like painting either. That usually confuses people. Yeah, it do. Mark J. Larson's in the house. Yeah, I got two bedrooms and two bathrooms rather that she wants painted, and I'm gonna start on that. I mean, due to South Carolina, I think by next weekend it's going to be in the high 70s. We're going to start fishing. Um, Turkey season's right around the corner. Got to start getting ready to that. Oh, I don't rake leaves. I got a lawnmower for that, dude. I usually wait. About next weekend is when I do it. Um, Usually about 3 weeks after the season ends, I'll go grab the lawnmower and I will run over and chop all the leaves up. And I'll do that like twice and get them all chopped up and use them for using fertilizer for the yard. Uh, Big Matt. But so I got that. Like I said, turkey season's right around the corner. Springtime fish, either bass or crappie. Um, um, I'm really kind of getting a little excited over turkey season this year. We'll run some bush lines every now and then, just to get out and go do something. So a lot of stuff. Got dog training. I got to work on bougie. I don't know. I got the video, and I tried to zoom in on it. They are hammering the crappie at stump hole. I hear you. I tried to zoom in on it and to make it bigger, and I'm gonna kind of work on it. I'm losing pixels when I do zoom in on the editor, but I do have a really um, I got a video of Bougie chasing a cripple. It was diving on her and she'd spin around, and finally she got it. And I'm kind of worked on it a little bit tonight. I just can't seem to quite. It loses. It gets pixelated, and you really can't see anything. Um, but maybe if I just draw it in just a little bit, just kind of see if do what you saying? Pick pill what? Cody, I have no idea. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So anyway, we got that. I want to work on that a little bit. And I got some other ideas out there for videos that I do have. Let's see here. Next Sunday, the Louisiana duck hunt is coming out. The last hunt I went on. That's coming out. I'm I feel good about that video. I think I did a pretty good job on that one. If I do say so myself, I look at videos and I say, well, maybe kind of, but I think this one is good. I hope y'all watch it next weekend. But what else we got? All these daggum popping things coming on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where'd everybody go? There we go. Over here hitting buttons. Oh. Cody, are you working or are you fishing? Let's see here. What do y'all want to talk about tonight? Anything in particular y'all want to holler about? How many of y'all got your gear out? I mean, of mulching blades. There you go, Charles. Neither. Oh, I got you. I've never known you to do nothing. Bentley's in the house. What's going on, brother? Under the weather, kinda. Okay. Has everybody got all their duck gear put up, or y'all just got it all in a pile right now, like me? I got to get out there and clean up, do a serious shed cleanup. Shed cleanup, guns. May go fishing Friday. See what happens. Still in the boat. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm gonna work on my boat a little bit as soon as I get the blind off and get a season's worth of leaves out of it. It's only 6 months till the opener. I got to get ready. Hey, dude, you got to stay ready. I was thinking of this the other day, and I don't know why. Just stupid things come through my mind sometimes. But as the duck season gets closer, how many of y'all pack a bag so in case you get that phone call that says "Get here now"? They're flying. They're here. How many of y'all keep a bag pre-packed? Just out of curiosity. Just got home from Nashville at the NWTF and switched the truck from coyote trapping to beaver trap. How was it, NWTF, Mark? Did y'all have a good time? I heard the things that go through your mind. Scary. Hmm. I do. Keep the boat ready too. Yeah. I got a bag ready for everything. If you stay ready, yeah. I mean, all right. So there's I would say a handful of people that keep a to-go bag ready. I have a couple of those. Um, that if things go south, I just grab these two bags and I'm out. But I was just wondering how many how many has a to go bag for hunting season, ready to go at a moment's notice. I mean, you get that phone call that says get here, and you just grab that bag, shove a few more things in it, and you're gone. It was a blast, but I was busy working in the North American Trapper booth all weekend. Gotcha. One of these years, I'm going to make it there. I really would like to go to the Delta. I wouldn't mind going to the Delta thing. Uh, y'all already know early teal season is September 5th already. You already know. At Adventure Moss, greetings from Merle's Inlet. Well, hey, buddy, what's going on? First time I've seen you in here, and appreciate you coming in. Adventures Moss, that's your YouTube channel? Anticipated. Okay. Cool beans. Well, welcome in. We'll just sit here and talk. What is your channel about? I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna take a look at it. All right, you got that written down. Just starting. What is it an outdoor hunting, fishing, Murrells Inlet? Is it going to the all of the cool seafood restaurants that are in Murrells Inlet? I For those of y'all that are into seafood now, you can. I know everybody's got their favorite place to go. Um, People, you can talk about the Calabash up in North Carolina. You can talk about the Cajun seafood in Louisiana, and the all that stuff, and Alabama and Mississippi on the coast. I mean, don't get me wrong; they all have great seafood. But on the East Coast, and especially in South Carolina, if you want the best seafood you've ever eaten, just go to a restaurant in Murrells Inlet. Period. Period. Um, it's the best. Now, seafood danger. Will Robinson. Um, but I will say, Inland Crab House, yes, yes. Um, I'm trying to. Well, I was going to say the Inlet Crab House. But if you want the freshest seafood and right off the boats, then you need to go down a little ways. Um, you need to go down a little ways and go to McClellanville. McClellanville has the best fresh seafood. Oh man, it's awesome. Um, North Carolina has a survey online with proposed season dates for next year. Gives Hunter us a support, not support, and comment. Okay. Sneed's Ferry yep, they got some good seafood. I'm not saying that Murrells Inlet's the end to be all. I'm just saying. I mean, you go down to Mount Pleasant to oh shoot, what's that inlet? What's that creek? Shim Creek. You go down to Shim's Creek in Mount Pleasant. Great seafood there. Scott, what's going on? Tyler's in the house. Yeah, come on in. Um, yeah, but I'm here to tell you, I love Merle. When we go down that way, um, and right outside of Murrells Inlet, head north just a couple few miles, and it may even be in the Murrells Inlet um, city limits. But Painter's Ice Cream, buddy. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's some great ice cream there. So Adventure Moss, man, you could do a whole TV show on Painter's Ice Cream. Um, they got some really good ice cream there, and you can tell I'm fat, so I like ice cream. Um, Now I never can pronounce it, Charles. There's that one town, I believe, just south of you. I always say Shallot. I'm not exactly if that's pronounced right. It's either Charlotte or Shallot. I'm not exactly how it's pronounced, and if there's anybody from there, I apologize for butchering the name. Um, but that is they got some good seafood there. I will say that. Can't even remember the town. Which town you talking about? My Shim Creek. Supposed to be a really good place at McClellanville. Yeah, I don't know the name. I've never been there. I've heard it was good. I heard there was a little restaurant right there in the town itself, right there in the little village. It's got some, but they got all the fresh seafood. Shallot, Shallot, Shallot. Is that how you pronounce it? Shallot. Hope I'm saying it right. Surfside Beach. Oh, what was that ice cream joint in Kentucky again? Um, It was in Irvine, if I'm not mistaken, and I can't remember it was in Irvine, but I can't remember the name of that ice cream joint. They had some good ice cream too. Whoa, that's where we went and after the turkey hunts. Oh, Irvine, yes, yeah. Well, you'll never, hey Cody, you'll never guess, but I just got a comment today, this afternoon, on that little short I did on Young's store, and the person who commented and said, "I'm from there," and they had a little small YouTube channel. I thought it was kind of neat. Um, I just thought it was neat that they so. Anywho, I'll have to get with you offline on that one. I could number one, I can't remember the name of the channel, but I'll get with you. I will say it is not a outdoor channel. That it is not. But I can't remember the name of the channel, so no, I didn't write it down. I mean, you can always go back to the video and look at the last comment. So, but anywho, what else, man? What else is everybody doing? We're talking about seafood and ice cream. You never know what you're going to be talking about on the live stream here. Recon, I could, yeah. I mean, it is a waterfowling channel, but I mean, think about it. If you're a duck hunter and you've been in a blind and you're hunting with people, and you're hunting, and you just talk about all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff just pops up. What's your top 3 wood duck tips? And then Ron is saying 4 ducks 60 days, 6 ducks 60 days. 3 top wood duck tips. Location. Know where they're going. That means scouting. Motion in your decoys, whether it's a jerk rig or a swimmer decoy or pulsators. Get away from those spinning wings. To me, I think they flare birds off quicker than anything else. Because by the time that those ducks see us, unless they're locals and it's opening day, then okay. But motion in your decoys and get yourself a good wood duck call and learn how to blow the sitting sounds. That's what I suggest. Ron is saying 4 ducks 60 days. Cody's saying 6 ducks 60 days. Scott saying 4 ducks and 2 geese in 60 days. I don't think that'll fly. Well, I hear you, Charles. That sounds good. I'll tell you right now, Tyler. Down here in the South. I mean, I know that Tennessee's in the South. I understand that. I swear, man, it was middle of the winter, and I was coming out of a landing, um, a local landing that I went down there to go look at, and when I was coming out of the field on my right hand side, and there was probably 30, 30 or 40 birds in that flock, and all the gobblers that I could see were puffed up. They were all puffed up, and I hit the horn one time, and I had them gobble off. I don't I don't think it really matters anymore here. I'm saying 7 ducks, 70 days. Oh, well, just keep watching. I do like your comments, so I do want to, and I hope you've gone to that. I hope you've gone to the poll and put your numbers in the poll. Hit the poll on the community post page, and leave your comments there too. I really would appreciate that, because I am going to be doing a video on this in the future. Me and Tyler be buddies. But I will. That's why I need. When I post these polls, they're pretty much they're for future videos. It's research. I want to know what y'all think. And possibly a reasoning. Uh, I mean, honestly, you know. And speaking of which, let me ask y'all this. I have always heard and I've always believed in it, but I'm starting to doubt myself nowadays. I know the biologists tell us that the ducks, they start pairing up late January and into February, and they start heading back. Um, and but we end up seeing a lot more ducks in February. Now, I've always contributed that to um, a lot of your impounds, your corn pond impounds or other impounds, and it could be moist soil as well, that they start releasing water and getting the water off the ground as quickly as they can, so that they can it'll be dried out, so they can plant more later on, and that pushes the ducks off of those impounds and into areas that the public duck hunter sees, or these ducks go somewhere else and hide because of the pressure. But I'm just wondering what y'all's thoughts. Do y'all think there's any truth to that, and should we extend the hunting season? This isn't in a poll. I'm just asking it in here. Um, you know what y'all think? Well, should we extend it into February? Some of you northern states, Cody, should you open it up earlier? Should it be opened earlier? But in the southern states, should it be allowed to go into February? Oh, what do y'all think? Kind of curious. I may put a poll up later on. I got one running right now, so I'm gonna let it run for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll put another one up. Uh, all I got is user and some letters. So anyway, first of all, thanks for coming in. Glad you're here. Glad you like the channel. Congratulations on your first 2 ducks this year. Hopefully that'll inspire you to continue duck hunting. Charles says no. We need a rest so they can get ready for the migration north. Well, okay. So let me ask you this, Charles. You're north of me by one state. You're in North Carolina. So what I'm saying is, if they push it, let's say they keep a 60-day season, which I'm not in favor of, but let's say they do a 60-day season. Um, it would go from mid December to mid February. Would that satisfy your rest period? Because I know what you're saying. But what I'm getting at is, I mean, you're going to have to push the beginning dates. So there'll be no more Thanksgiving season, and you'd be starting right around Christmas. I know North Carolina has Sundays, no hunting on Sundays, so you'd probably get a chance to hunt a little bit earlier. But there would be no October season. There would be no November season. Or would you prefer to have those and just not even worry about um, the February thing, or would you prefer it to go into February? Um, Scott saying wouldn't help here. We're still half locked up with ice. Well, then that's what I'm saying. If you're up north, it's not going to help you to go into February, but it would help the southern states, and the northern states could possibly start earlier. Would that help y'all? It, or is it starting where you're at peak at the best migration times? The fact, the fact that DNR doesn't plant corn on Cat 1 WMAs but allows landowners to do it says it all. Yeah, I think they do plant. Listen. First of all, I'm against corn. I'm against planting corn. And and I say that, but I also say this: if they can plant corn, why can't I pour a bag of corn out? Those are my thoughts. But I do not like planting corn at all. But I do know, I think I want to say the Broad River um, does plant corn there, or they did. I have not been on Broad River in a long time, so I don't know what they've been doing here lately. But I think there's a few of them that plant. Um, if you're what's it, Spin? First of all, welcome to the channel. It's first time seeing the name, and I appreciate you coming in. Um, and all your support. So I'm assuming you're talking about South Carolina. So because you said DNR and Cat ones, and I think South Carolina has the only Cat ones that I'm aware of. Um, but I think a few of them do. But I get what you're saying. I honestly 100% get what you're saying. Charles, November is very good. Whereas peak migration around Thanksgiving here, so cutting days in November would hurt me. Okay, got you. All right, fair enough, Charles. Well, here I got you, Tyler, and I knew you were joking, dude. I mean, I don't think number one, I don't think I could afford 70 days. To be honest with you, it would actually, and I haven't seen seven ducks in South Carolina in one spot, so in a long time. So, but I got you, and some hen rules need to change. Are you saying more hens need to be shot or less hens need to be shot, or and are you talking species across the board, or are you just talking about, let's say, the top the top ducks, your mallards? Um yeah, you were joking. Y'all couldn't handle setting. I mean, when would it start? In mid-June? Um because by October you normally froze up. So, are you talking about mallard hens? Are you talking about pintail hens? Maybe even canvasback hens? Things that you can readily identify. Um, I will say, um, as much as long as I've been hunting, and I've hunted a lot of places. I've been hunting since I was duck hunting since I was 7 years old. That early wood duck flight, I couldn't tell you what's what until I got it in my hand. Um, so I mean, if you think about early season teal, you have no clue till it gets in your hand. And even during regular season, there are times you're not going to be able to tell what what that bird is, whether it's a hen or a drake. So depending on the species. So that's why I'm asking the question. Gotta wait a minute. Got to remember, corn seed and planting corn is very expensive for a landowner. Is one thing for a state agency. The cost would be crazy expensive. If change is needed, I'm for the same 60 and maybe 4 duck limit. I just enjoy being out there, limit or not. Gotcha. Understand, Scott. Well, I'd like to see the later start here in Northeast Texas. Got you too, John. Hey, by the way, welcome in. Thanks for coming in. People say the flyways change. That's BS. Any number of the private impoundment corn laws are holding hundreds of thousands of ducks on any given day. They have food. They have food, water, and rest. Got you, Spin. I've been preaching that for years. Um, exactly. Why would they leave? Here's the thing. I do believe that the flyway has changed in somewhat, and I can show you in history how it's changed and when it actually started to change. So yes, the flyway changed. It takes years and years and years, but I am telling you, it has changed. Now, with that said, private land, which I'm all for private ownership, and what a man does on his property is his business. I got it. I'm all for that as well. I just don't like corn ponds. Okay, I just don't like planting corn. To me, it's legalized baiting. But he could do something else. But they do hold and change the migration. In what I mean by that, they can change it even locally. I'm not exactly sure where you're from. I'm assuming in South Carolina. I'm not exactly sure where, but if you know anything about Santee, there's I heard a rumor this year. I don't know how true it is. I really haven't looked it up, but there's close to four, maybe 500 corn pond or duck ponds from Jacks Creek all the way up to the top of Spalkerberry. So they will change the where the ducks go to locally, and that is an altering of the migration. I believe it 100%. Um, I know that it has changed from where way back before I was born, and that was a long time ago, that the ducks primarily came down the Atlantic Flyway is the actually coastal line. It's the coast. The Atlantic Flyway is the coast. And once they started building the lakes in the late 1930s and 40s, Lake Marion, Lake Moultrie, those birds shifted. They shifted west, um, and most definitely has changed. Um, so yeah, I do believe that there has been a shift, and to be honest, I also do believe in this because they're finding this out a lot more. The ducks just don't migrate north to south in the flyway. They migrate east and west, north south, south north, east west, west east. So, um, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Cody. So, I think that straight down the flyways are maybe not as true as they once thought it was. Okay, because for you guys that are here in South Carolina and in North Carolina and parts of Virginia, a lot of our mallards, I'm talking mallard ducks, they are born and raised in the Great Lakes area. Um, they come from the Great Lakes area. That's in Pennsylvania. And they fly down and then they cross over the mountains. they cross over. They cross right over the mountains and they start hitting North Carolina and into South Carolina. Um, that I mean that's why years ago, um, you know, there was an organization that would build mallard hen houses and send them to Pennsylvania. Um, to because they did studies and that's where the majority of our ducks come from. Our mallard ducks. It seems like you have to target, and I know good and well I have missed some people's comments, and for that I do apologize. And if you think it's a comment that I need to address, and just haven't because I missed it, please, 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 just say it again. Um, it seems like you have to target wood ducks or divers to feel like you've had any success in South Carolina. I agree, 100%. I agree 100%. Um, growing up here, dude, it was nothing but mallards. That's all we shot was mallards. We didn't shoot wood ducks back then. You could only shoot two at that time, but we what mallard ducks? Yeah, really, Mark. How you doing, buddy? Glad you can make it. Um, yeah, mergansers. Mergansers are a huge, huge between wood ducks and mergansers, and that and the old Cutis maximus. I don't think we'd have anything to shoot. But you're right, 100%. You have to target wood ducks, and and that's terrible. It really is terrible, and especially for young hunters. These ducks are coming in super hot, super fast. They don't always come in, and yes, you can call wood ducks in to the decoys. I've done it way too many times. I know it can be done, but there's a lot involved with motion and being pretty much where they want to be, just like any duck, just like any animal that you hunt. You want to be where they want to be. But it discourages younger hunters because that's all they're shooting or they're shooting at and they miss because they are screaming through the trees, getting all cockeyed and sideways. What's up, Jeff? And they're not decoying like mallards do or gadwall do or even pintails for that matter, widgeon, that kind of thing. So it does discourage it, which ends up with discouraging hunters. They want to go out and they want to shoot. They want to pull the trigger. So they end up shooting way too far out of their shotgun experience and shooting way too far for a shotgun itself. And they end up sky blasting. And sky blasting is added pressure on the ducks, and they just quit coming to that area. So I got you, brother. I understand exactly what you're saying. And I wish I had an answer to get more mallards in this area. It's just Jeff. Did I say hey to you? I can't remember. Anyway, so hey Jeff. So there's a lot of different things that come into play here. Um, I don't think in my lifetime that I'll see the mallards come back. I'm thankful for wood ducks. Don't get me wrong. Nope, I don't. But I do wonder if we didn't have them, would DNR change their approach to waterfowl? All right, here's the conspiracy theorist in me coming out. Spin, whatever. Sorry if I messed your name up. This is not all of DNR, but this is not all of DNR because there's some really good people that work there. But I do wonder myself if some of the bureaucrats that are in DNR, South Carolina DNR, don't want us to hunt anymore. I don't know if they don't want us to hunt anymore. I mean, you take properties that South Carolina has obtained, and great waterfowling properties, and they turned them over to Parks and Tourism. So the Yankees can, no offense to my Yankee brethren up there, but so y'all can come down and get a taste of a southern plantation and eat grits and see Spanish moss hanging from a tree and alligators and everything else, because they get more money in tourism than they do in duck hunters. So I don't know if that would actually change their approach to waterfowl. I do know we need more um, common. And when I say common, I'm talking about guys who don't own businesses, are not lawyers and doctors, and own private property. I'm talking about public land hunters. They need more public land hunters in DNR. They need more public land hunters in the um, waterfowl advisory board here in South Carolina. Runs saying DNR has absolutely nothing but waterfowl hunting in Ohio. Pathetic. You just have to go to the Mallard, Matt. That's where I come in. Yes, sir. That's what I'm waiting for next October. Charles is saying migration patterns have changed a great bit in the past 25 years. Oh, yes, sir. I 100% agree with that. I was saying earlier. Isn't that the truth? Not only that, but I think I read the other day there's like 1,500 acres of wetlands, marsh wetlands in Charleston that they're going to dike and drain and fill in so they can build a couple of houses and a Dollar General. Bingo, Scott. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about in a previous video. I do believe that, and I do hope that we. Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy? Glad you could make it, brother. Hey guys, if you do not know the Mike Green, y'all need to check him out on Facebook. He is funny. He's absolutely funny. Um, he was choking on a turkey call the other day, so we need to wish him well. He was blowing he was blowing a turkey call, had a mouth collar in his mouth. He's blowing. His wife gave him a karate chop in the neck. Next thing you know, he swallowed it, and he was down on his knees, sounding like a really pathetic turkey. So y'all need to wish him well, but also go check out his Facebook. Well, Dollar General does sell apple pies. Yeah, they sell them small ones, man. I want them big ones. Yeah, that's the truth, brother. That's the truth. Urban, and that's one of our problems, and that's why the migration does change a little bit because of the urban sprawl that are in the wintering areas here in South, and especially, and I'm talking the Southeast, but it's generally all over the place. Hey, not a problem, brother, but it was funny. Shot my first banded bird this year. Been hunting since the 80s. Hen Gadwall. Traveled east to west from a banding location. Definitely see flyway shift. John, whenever you get a minute, it doesn't have to be tonight. Sometimes, next couple of days, could you email me the banding location and where it was harvested at, if you don't mind? The Ace is one of my favorite places to hunt. Can you imagine, Mike, if the Ace Basin, the refuge there, got opened up to waterfowl hunting? Y'all excuse me, but I got to take this sweat jacket off. I would love to see the Ace Basin open up as a refuge. Not all of it, but I would love to see it get open. Hey, dude, I did it because I need to make some money. I got some bills to pay, brother. Come on, I want to go to North Dakota and hunt with you this year. So yeah, throw some dollars on stage. Piper money, please. The ones that got a fellow by the name of Ben on it would be really, really nice. But and that's what I was talking about opening up the refuge. Um, and opening up some of the refuge, not all of them, not all at once, but open up a couple. In our state, we got 8 of them. 7 of them are great for waterfowl hunting. But we can open up 2 or 3 units. You know, the logistics of it. We can talk about that forever and a day. I said my piece on that video. Um, if y'all want to go back and watch it, I really would appreciate it. So, but by opening them, you're going to open up more opportunities, and you're going to start putting less pressure on more of the traditional areas that hunters hunt. I appreciate it, John. Oh, dude, that yes, that refuge was awesome, dude. I kid you, and I'm probably going to butcher the name. However, Cody said it, that Agassiz. I saw more ducks on that refuge from the road in one spot in a 10 or 15-minute time that we spent there. Agassiz. Okay. I saw more ducks in that 15 minutes that we stopped, pulled off side of the road, and I took the film than I had seen in 10 years in South Carolina. I kid you not, guys. I kid you not. And the thing is, you don't have to open the whole thing. You do not have to open all of it. Just a certain portion of it. And it's the same thing with the state refuge that's right there beside it. You don't have to open all of it, just a small portion of it. They can open them up like permanent hunts, like Lake Mattamuskie. Yeah, that'd be great. Like you take the NWR Pheasanthaul in Arkansas. They have an area defined on a map, defined by signs and poles. You can't go over there and hunt. You cannot go over there and hunt, but you can hunt this area. And there's one boat ramp, and you put your boat in, and it's wherever you want to go in that stretch of water. And at times it's some great hunting, and yet they still preserve the rest area for the birds. And those birds will get up, they'll fly around, and they'll go to these other places, but yet they still preserve it. And you could do the same thing that they do in Pheasanthaul. You can do the same thing they do in Mattamuskie, a lottery hunt, a draw hunt, a first come first serve hunt. Draw at the station. You go in there, especially if it's like a walk-in spot. You go in there and you pull. You go in there and you pull, and you put your name in and you pull a number, and that tells you where to go, and if you got a chance to win. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, Cody. That's what I'm saying. Funny thing, there was hardly any birds there. Yeah, I know. I mean, you kept telling me over and over and over, 5 days I was there, I'm sorry, there's no ducks. And I'm like, dude, I saw more ducks on our scout day than I've seen in 10 years in South Carolina. And then after the 5 days of hunting, I saw birds everywhere. There wasn't a day that we did not see ducks. They may not have come to where we were at, but we saw ducks every day. And for a guy like me, and a lot of people out there, and I'm quite sure there's quite a few, because I've actually heard some people say it in the chat. I think Ron said it, or maybe it was Ron, but we just like to see ducks. I'm getting to the point now in my life where yes, it's nice to shoot a limit and you get all excited. I mean, I was giddy as a schoolboy when we shot that 3-man limit in Minnesota. I mean, I was so giddy that I just grabbed them all and took off, climbing Mount Sarabachi on that little hill that y'all had for me. But that's what I just soon see them too. I want to see the ducks. I want to see them again, like I used to here. Um, Anti-hunter is raising hell about killing ducks on the refuge. Let me explain a little something about that. I really do not give a rat's tail what anti-hunters say. Outdoorsmen, hunters, and fishermen, we pay the bill for these refuges. We pay the bill. Pittman Robinson Act, the tax money, all that tax money goes to refuges and conservation. The federal duck stamps all go to refuges and conservation. There is so what those anti-hunters start yelling and screaming about, I could really care less until they start spending $4,000 and $5,000 of their own money on hunting equipment, and I don't care what they do. If they want to throw it away, they can throw it away. But until they start putting that much money into conservation every year, as much as duck hunters do, they can kiss my tail. Serious. And if there's any youngsters out there, sorry for the French. How many anti-hunters buy ducks exactly? Saw more than we could count in the snow at Marion end of the season. Hey, Dees, what's up? You know what? I didn't even hunt that weekend. I didn't hunt. I the last weekend of the season that snow, I woke up, I went, nope, I'm not going. I'm just gonna stay home. Um and I'd had enough. I'd honestly I just had enough. 3 major trips across the country, back and forth. Um and I was just tired, and I needed the rest. And I'm actually kind of glad I did. Anti-hunter, now I'm fired up. Make them a draw hunt with stipulations on harvest and hunt time cutoffs like 11, 12. Also limit to non-motorized areas, shell limits. Yeah, John, is exactly what I was saying in the video. These refuges, when they open up, there should be no motorized decoys. So no battery operated decoys. You take a jerk string if you want to. In certain areas, I think a motor restriction. Now, not every place is the same, and you've got places. Let's, for example, the Ace Basin, which is coastal water, so it's affected by tides. And in here in South Carolina, our tides can go from 0 to 20 in a heartbeat. And I'm not kidding you. And if you ask anybody who hunts the coast, 1 minute you're in deep water, and the next minute you're grounded. You're going to need a big motor to get out of there. And there's no walking out of there. The pluff mud on our coast will suck you under. So, yes, I think in certain areas that a big motor, whether it's an outboard, a traditional outboard, or a mud motor, is that is needed. Now, there are some areas that I would say yes, a motor restriction of 10 horse or less, and in some areas I would actually say walk in or canoe or paddle in. So yeah, there should be some restrictions. I agree, and it should be a cutoff time when you have to quit hunting. I think I mentioned 11 o'clock, out by 12. So yeah, so yes, I do think there should be a lot of restrictions. What do you think about restricting non-resident hunters? Why? We bring non-resident hunters bring money to that state. Isn't Arkansas limiting out-of-staters? They are limiting in some areas. As far as I know, it is still. I think there's some areas that they have to. That they're limited to. But they can pretty much there's other places they can go to. Like there's no way they can limit non-resident hunters to an NWR to a National Wildlife Refuge. They can't do it. But yes, there are some places that are restricting in Arkansas. Not all of them, but some. Most everything here in my area is non-motorized. Yep. Me and Senator Kerry are watching you. Keep it up. Hey, Smokey, what's going on? Well, tell Senator Kennedy I said hello, and if he wants a bearded, middle-aged, duck hunting redneck that's missing a front tooth to show up and testify, I'll be more than happy to. Just tell me when. I'll come. I ain't got a problem. I do not have a problem telling any of those people anything in my mind. And they're gonna have to understand one thing. One thing when I walk in there, they work for me. I don't work for them. And there you go. Let's do away with all the motorized decoys for a few years. Well, I can understand your feelings on that. I've killed many ducks without a motorized decoy. I will say it does help. I will say on those calm days when the decoys are not moving and you're laid back in the back of your blind or boat or leaned up on a tree and about half asleep. Next thing you know, you got ducks overhead and they look down, they don't see anything moving and they don't finish and come in and you miss opportunities. Yeah, you'd wish you had a motorized, but I get what you're saying, brother. I honestly, I do. Um, North Dakota has restricted out of state quite a bit. Yes, but they still give you, I think, 14 days, right, Cody? If I'm not mistaken, they still give somebody 14 days, but you have zones. You can only hunt and I'm cutting the state in half. So 7 days in the west zone, 7 days in the east zone. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Georgetown mud will eat a grown man. It'll eat you and it won't even spit you out. It'll just keep you. These I would say depends on where you're at. It, as a generally true. Yeah, because that is here's the thing, man. The Atlantic Flyway is originally when they were drawing up the flyways, it was the coast. It was the coast. There was no inner in South Carolina. You got to remember when they were drawing those up, Santee Cooper did not exist. Lake Murray did not exist. These places, Savannah, Hartwell, the Savannah River was there, but Lake Hartwell, all these places, they didn't exist. They just did not exist. Hunters would be surprised how well hunting old school works. Yes, sir. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, John. I agree. Hunting old school works. I got a few tricks. I got a few tricks of old school hunting that I'm not going to say online, but I know a few tricks. He said we have plenty here in Louisiana. Plenty what? I just got back from Louisiana. I just got back. I mean, I was there the last week of the season. Where I was at, we saw ducks. Don't get me wrong, but there was nothing like I have seen in the past. So, but I do believe that the corn ponds up north in Missouri have affected the migration into Louisiana, Arkansas, and Louisiana, both states. They keep saying, I hear people say all the time that it's weather, and weather does play a part, and I'm not going to deny that, but it doesn't play the big part as most people think, because ducks can land on ice and they can get up and get corn while they're on ice. And how hard is it for a duck to feed in a cornfield and then get up and fly north, south, east, west to find open water? It's not hard at all. It's not hard at all. And I tell you, if you listen to some people on the thing, majority of the mallard ducks leave Canada, fly 120 miles an hour due south, and go end up in South America. If you listen to people like that, that's what they do. I do not believe that, not one bit. But yeah, there's ducks, but there's ducks in Louisiana. But I think the concern is mallard ducks, and there's just there's not that many like there used to be. No spinning wings or mojo ducks for me. Heck, I just started using. I know I just got you started using decoys, and you ended up spending. You bought a small house just for the decoys that I suggested. 14 DS, 4 zones. Okay. Lots of people can't find the woods without a phone. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. It's it really they've lost and all right, so, and I'm not saying all hunters, and I'm not just picking out a certain section of hunters, but a lot of hunters have either never learned or have forgotten their woodsmanship. And I look at scouting for ducks just like I scout for deer, I scout for turkeys. I go in quiet, I listen, I walk, I stop, I listen, I ease around. I don't drive through the swamp at 110 miles an hour, jumping stumps, screaming, hollering, carrying on, and playing a turtle box. I'm easing around when I'm scouting. And it's the same thing. If you're going deer hunting, you're not going to drive a truck down a road at 55, blaring music out of it, bouncing off of the potholes, and expect to find deer, or even turkeys. You got to ease up. You got to get quiet. They've forgotten their woodsmanship and what they need to do, or they've never been taught. I agree. I used to make fun of motorized decoys till I got old and lazy. More power to the older people, Scott. Yeah. I have a couple pulsators. Listen, I have 13 mojos in my shed, and I have not used them in 6 or 7 years. I'll use it during teal season, early teal season. I'll break out the teal mojos. But after that, everything gets put up. I don't even use them anymore. I do have 2 pulsators that I actually like. I got a little small rippler, puts a little bit of motion on the water, especially when you're in a swamp. And I got a new swimmer decoy that I really do like. And I've got jerk rigs. And so I like them. I understand what Tyler was saying about I got the concept and the idea of it, of banning them for a few years. And that may help. I'm not saying it wouldn't. Anything could help right now. But I will say this: if we ban it, and I'm just saying it, plain devil's advocate, if they are banned, you're going to lose a lot of companies. A lot of companies have built their companies on motorized decoys. Hidden with pulsators, Mojo with spinning wing, the swimmers, all this stuff. You're going to lose companies. People are going to be out of work, out of jobs because, so economically, let's face this fact: shooting the old mallard greenhead is big business. And what's going to happen? Well, I mean, seriously, what is going to happen if that happened? It might fit. It may or may not fix the waterfowl populations, but it would definitely hurt. It would definitely hurt local economies. Mike Green said, use the Hidden Finisher Pro this season. Felt like a cheat code. I got you. He also comes back and says the old goats. Yes, sir. And I got the goat beard to prove it. Hold on, hold on, John. If I can find it. Here we go. See this, John? This is every map of every wildlife management area in South Carolina. I have now, granted, this is from 99 to 2000. They're old maps, but the fact of the matter is, this is how we started with maps and learning an area. So I got paper maps as well, and I keep it all wrapped up in this little map case. "30 years won't be no hunting." Well, there's a lot of truth in that. A lot of truth in that, Ron, but you're probably right. They're all made in China anyways. Well, everything's made in China, boss. We all know that. But still, I'm not talking about the makers. I'm talking about the companies that sell them. So they'd be out of business. I mean, they'd most definitely be out of business. And I don't. I mean, the way decoys are made now, they have a hard time staying in business to begin with. Decoys are made extremely durable, and all of them. I mean, unless you're buying, really, really cheap, really, really, really $20 a box cheap. But, you know, the decoys are, I mean, you look at the Hidden Battleship, man. You look at Heyday decoys. Those things are built to last. And once you buy them, unless they get stolen or burned up in a fire, you don't need to buy anymore. So once you get what you need, Ron says, "I'll be dead anyway." Yeah, I got it. I mean, I probably got 15, maybe 20 more years of duck hunting in me before I get too old that I just can't do it physically. But I'm not trying to save this for myself. I'm saving this for my grandson, and I'm saving it for my grandson's son. That's what I want to save it for. So as far as me, you know, uh, like I said, in my lifetime, I'll probably never see big concentrations of mallards in South Carolina, but maybe my grandson might. So Mike Green says, "I miss those maps." Yeah, I got mine, dude, and on occasion I still use them. I got laminated color and aerial photos of some North Carolina big public impoundments along the coast. Cool, especially heydays. Yep, used to get them at the Sportsman's Classic. Used to. That's right. We used to be able to get them. You could order them, dude. I got these. I said, I remember sending them. All right, this is all right. So, by the way, guys, in case you don't know, I am pre-Google. All right, I am pre-internet, and I remember writing a letter to the DMV, and not these particular maps. I mean the DNR, but writing a letter to get maps of certain WMAs. Writing a letter, and it would come in the mail in about 3 weeks. It'd come in the mail, big package. When I hit the lottery, I'm going to buy some heyday decoys. You liked them, didn't you, Randy? I think they're so cool. Heydays made me had to defer retirement for a year. Hang on a second. But there's a lot of issues. You know, you do have weather. Weather does, but it's not the sole issue. You have pressure, and pressure comes in many forms. And you've got corn ponds, and I put corn ponds into the pressure category. To be honest with you, because all a duck needs is three things. They need food, water, rest. That's it. That's all they need. They don't need anything else. And if they can get that, they're going to stay right there. And by the time winter solstice hits, which is around December 21st, 22nd, which, by the way, if you don't know what that is, it's the shortest day of the year. Wherever they're at, that's where they're going to stay. And mallard duck can take a lot of weather. I mean, a lot of weather. And as long as he can get up, if he can keep a hole open, he's going to stay right there. And they got ice eaters now, or the people call them heated pond. No, they're ice eaters. So, and they're running these ice eaters all the time to keep that water open. And as long as they can get to open water, get a drink, get back and get food, and nobody's banging on them every day, they ain't going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. They're just not going to go anywhere. And there's, that's part of pressure. And people say, well, how you figure? I said, well, it's very simple. You put duck hunters all the way around these properties and you're banging on them as they're flying over onto the public areas. You're putting pressure on them because you're shooting them 3.5-inch shells, out of a 12 gauge, you're shooting a 3.5-inch TSS load at them at 80, 90 yards and missing. And they're falling into they're going right back into these impounds. You put pressure on them to keep them there. So that's how I say the corn ponds put pressure. It's part of the pressure problem. I've seen more ducks on the 2 youth days this year than I've seen all year. Listen, the first youth day, Randy, the first youth day, I didn't go. It was a youth federal. It was the federal youth and the federal Veterans Day, and I could hunt the veterans if I wanted to, but I didn't. I just drove down to a place just to kind of take a look at it, and I wanted to do a video down there, and I was doing the video, and as I was doing the video, I came across a ditch and water was flowing out of an impound right on the other side of this WMA, and it's a private land property, and they were releasing water. So guess what? Those ducks are leaving all these impounds because they're releasing water. If they're not going to have a youth hunt, they're going to release the water, and the ducks have got to go somewhere. Mike, I listened, dude. I really appreciate you coming in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up for me. Appreciate it if you're still here. And we'll see you, man. Give me a holler sometime. You got my number. I'd like to see a change, but I'm afraid nothing will. Ron, I'm right there with you, dude. I would love to see some changes. I'd like to see some serious changes. The fact of the matter is we need to do some serious changes, or we're, like Ron said, we're not going to have anything in 30 years. In 20, 30 years, we're not going to have any ducks. We're not going to have, or you won't be able to hunt them because they won't be on public ground. I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of row crops in Canada. And they used to be smaller. They used to be smaller in wetlands and field. The row crops, the machinery has gotten better where there's not as much spillage nowadays on those when they're harvesting grain, whether it's the corn or the wheat, that kind of thing. They get the machinery's gotten a lot better, and I agree, and I don't know how. I mean, that's up to our illustrious representatives and senators, and the president to get another to revise a treaty, the migratory bird treaty, and trying to get some of those wetlands back. And I agree 100% on that. Nesting areas have changed, not as much as it used to be. Wintering areas have changed. We got houses being built all along the coast, wanting, to build their condos and their Dollar Generals and all this other crap along our coast to just tear up our scenery and our wintering locations. And I agree 100%. I mean, I absolutely agree with you, and that is that's beyond us. I mean, that is absolutely beyond us. And that's why I'm glad that Senator Kennedy has come out with the study. I mean, listen, I don't like corn ponds. I've said it a thousand times. Why you just come busting up in here like you own the place? Anyway, I don't like them, but if they find that, hey Ron, appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. If I really do appreciate that, buddy, I really do. If they find in the study that the corn ponds do not affect the migration, then this is very, very simple. Very simple. Let public duck hunters pour a bag of corn out. Let us pour a bag of corn out, or 2 or 3 or 10 or 12 or 100. Let us do that. Because that just puts everything in the game. It just puts fairness in the game. I don't want to do it. I'm just saying that if the study finds it doesn't alter it, then fine. Let us pour a bag of corn out. And here's the thing. I mean, I can settle this really quick. All right, Charles, listen, I appreciate it, man. You take care of yourself. Enjoy it. I enjoy having you. Appreciate it. I can't wait. I can't wait to participate in the Santee corn baiting wars. Oh, dude. Oh, man, that will be so much fun. But here's the thing, Dees. Here's the things, guys. If they allow us to bait corn, or to put corn out, to pour a bag of corn out, okay, fine. However, there needs to be some serious, stiff penalties if you are caught with over the limit. So if they allow us to do it, great. Because you walk in, you shoot your limit, and you leave, or close to your limit and you leave. But if you're over the limit and you get caught, there should be some serious, stiff penalties. And none of that mess. I'm talking at the boat ramp. Here's your phone. Make a phone call. Tell somebody, come pick you up and bring you some clothes. Because we're taking everything. We're taking your truck. We're taking your boat. We're taking your gun. We're taking your decoys. We're taking your dog. We're going to take your hunting clothes, your waders, your license, everything. We're taking it all. And if you're found not guilty, you get it back. But until then, we're taking everything. Find your own way home. Here's your phone. Here's your phone. Now, so, I'm not saying putting a person in prison for shooting over the limit. I think that's a little extreme. But I'm talking about taking everything and taking their hunt license away from them. They should not be allowed to buy another hunt license if we are allowed that. Now, so if Senator Kennedy, he's all he's doing right now is asking for a study. So, but I'm saying if the study says it doesn't affect the migration, then we need to be able to pour a bag of corn out. Listen, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services gives us a season, whatever it may be. Right now it's 60 and 6, 60 days, 6 ducks. They say we can hunt from this time of the year to this time of the year, and every state sets their own hunting seasons. We've got it in place. There's no reason why we can't bait. I'm serious. There's no reason why we can't. There should be no reason, especially if they're allowing flooded grain crops. So anyway, there it is. People in Canada worry more about farming available ground than having a wetland that waterfowl use, nest, and raise little ones. And I agree with you, Tyler, and they do. And here's the thing about that. Canada is run by a socialist government, and they are taxed to death. So the more land that they have and can farm, the more money they can make, even though they're going to get taxed to death. Okay, so that's why they're not worried about ducks. They're worried about feeding their families, and I understand it. So in order to stop that, they is in Canada, need to get rid of their socialist government. Think about it. Can you pour a bag of sunflowers or wheat for doves, or do you have to do it agricultural manner? You have you cannot, no, you cannot bait for migratory game birds. Doves are included in the migratory game bird. So, but you can grow it agriculturally and manipulate. And that is what they do with the flooding of corn. Is, yes, you're correct. Flooding of corn is, you don't grow corn in water, but you can manipulate it, and manipulation being water. And that's the simple man's uh, example there. Um, I seen DNR in a hardware last year buying 10 bags of shell corn. Well, you can bait for deer. You can use shell corn for deer. You use shell corn for hogs. And here's the thing, dude. When they go to do their banding, what do you think they use? They use shell corn and then shoot the nets over them. That'll never happen. It's Mark Carney now, and he's worse. Oh yeah, dude. I know several. I know several game wardens that I've seen buying, and I always laugh at them. I say, "You going duck hunting?" And they look at me and they, they think, to me it's funny, but undoubtedly they don't think it's funny anymore. But you can bait for deer, you can bait for hogs, so you don't know what they're using it for. You can take a wild guesstimation, but what else, guys? We've been here for almost an hour and a half. Man, didn't time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, I think we're going to do this for about another 2 to 3 minutes. So if y'all got something y'all want to say, get it out right now, because I do have to work tomorrow. I'd like to get a little bit of sleep. Y'all done got me jacked up. Y'all done got me jacked up with the anti-hunter stuff. But here's something else. I put, like I said, all right, Jeff, take care of yourself, brother. Thanks for coming in. I put these polls out because I want to do future videos on them, or maybe not. But that's the reason why I put these polls out. So please do me a huge favor. Go there. I got 2 polls running right now. One is on youth hunts, and the other one's on seasons and limits. Go in there, vote, and leave a comment. Because I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. I mean, really do. And with that note, guys, if there's a video or topic that you'd like me to look into and do, please, by all means, shoot me an email. Okay. daddyduck365@gmail.com. So he was making moonshine. He said he wasn't. It was for wildlife. He wasn't too happy. Oh, that's funny. All right. Anything else, fellas? Well, listen, guys, I do appreciate y'all coming in here tonight. I enjoy these. I enjoy these chats. I'm hoping to get some more guests. I've been talking to some people, trying to get them to come in, and so we can discuss other things. But like I said, if you've got an idea, if you've got a topic that you'd like for me to research and address, do me a favor. Yeah, all lowercase. Do me a favor. If you go to my about page, if you go when we get off of here, if you go to my channel and go to my about page, you'll see my email in there. Scott, I do appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. But listen, like I said, if you got an idea, shoot me an email. I appreciate it. Anyway, guys, appreciate y'all coming in tonight. Thank you so much. Ron, thank you so much for that gift. It really does mean a lot to me. You have no clue how much that means to me. Y'all take care of yourselves. And is your email all lowercase? Yes, all lowercase. Listen, y'all have a good one. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365. Good night, everybody.